Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to the birthplace of rock and roll, Cleveland, Ohio, where the ceremonial guitar has been smashed, and that means we are set for football at Huntington Bank Field. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here, as it'll be the New Orleans Saints taking on the Cleveland Browns. On the Saints sideline, head coach Kellen Moore. These guys desperately trying to get in the win column, losers of 5 straight to start the year. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis, happy to have you along wherever you may be. And we are underway from rainy Cleveland. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. To throw right away is Shuck. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A good pickup there, 21 yards. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. A first carry now. This is Williams. And a good push there defensively as they stop him at the 48. Gain of just 1. The numbers for Williams a week ago. 13 carries, 70 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish a run game.
They give those 2 yards right back, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 10.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Operating from the gun, here's Shuck. And this is going to be incomplete.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Looking to put a drive together. On the ground, this is Quinshon Judkins. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
Second and 5. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Now back to throw. And he's unable to haul it in. So it falls incomplete over the middle third of the field. And that brings up 4th. The Browns send out their punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
And he stopped immediately there. And, Charles, you wonder about this defense coming in. I mean, look, it's no secret they're playing a team that's down on its luck right now. Losers of 5 straight. How does that change how you prepare for a game?
Well, to me, the first thought is you just get after them early, right? Take away any chance of them building any confidence. But the second thing is you prepare a little bit differently. You've got to expect this team to take chances, go for it on 3rd and 4th downs, run a lot of trick plays, anything to try and break their losing streak. So you must stay alert and stay aware.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Cleveland offense making their way out. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
He pushes through a would-be tackler to get about 3 yards. 2nd down. 2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. Sampson. And he'll get about 3 here up to the 44-yard line. And you look at this Saints defense. They've shown the ability to play tough against the pass, currently ranked number 9 in the NFL.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
Look in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. Quick slant there, gets him the 1st down, 6 yards on the play.
1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. A gain of 3 on the play, and it's 2nd down. The Browns at 3-2, a game over 500 here to start the season. And they come in losers of 2 straight, so trying to turn things around here.
And you just mentioned 2 straight, and when you're talking about 2 games, that's nothing to panic about. They feel like they've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple. This is a club that's more than capable of turning things around, and I expect them to play really well here.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He'll swing this out to Sampson. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And now it's 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Again, he'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
60 by 60.
They'll look to throw again. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
First and 10 at the 37.
Come on. Hey.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And his throw here is incomplete.
Well, we keep stats on everything, don't we? This is one that you don't want to have. That's his 2nd drop right here in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, I was going to say only in the 1st quarter. Certainly a ship that he wants to right quickly. Here's 2nd and 10.
19 Tiger, 19 Tiger. Ready.
Now a handoff up the middle. Sampson. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. On to the 2nd from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go. Cougar 19.
He'll look to throw. Now he'll tuck this and run. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. It looks like a jumbo set with 3 tight ends here for 1st and goal.
3.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal. Let's go.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great play there. His 4th touchdown of the year. And the Browns post the first points of the ballgame as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Here we go on the return from the 1-yard line. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. It hasn't gone particularly well for them, that's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Williams going to get it again on second down.
And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Shuck now to throw. He's got his target. That's complete.
And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1.
The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards.
This offense has been slow to get started, but that play will certainly give them a little bit of life. Maybe the late wake-up call that they had been seeking.
Williams. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. Williams again. And once again, he's going to be pushed backwards. This time back to the 3. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. They'll motion out one of the tight ends. Well, it's a 3rd and somewhat manageable now, not so manageable.
Exactly, because you had a play call on that you felt like, hey, this could go quick, and it doesn't take much to get it done. Now, you got to start thinking about a little bit of a deeper route type of a call, especially if you want to throw it.
Shuck will throw on 3rd and goal. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Out now is the field goal unit for New Orleans. This will be spotted at the 20, so it's a 30-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point of drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
The Browns drive about to get started. And they come in losers of 2 straight. And remember, they've got the open date on their calendar next weekend. But I think it's vitally important, Charles, that they focus on the task at hand here.
Absolutely, because these players, they know what's coming up. And the difference between taking time off following a win versus doing so on a 3-game losing streak, that's absolutely huge, because they may come back if they lose this game to a facility, and there may be new faces in there and some teammates lost.
Two minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. They'll come up on a 2nd and 7 from the 27. They'll drop the throw. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. A good starting spot for the Saints as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. Throwing, Shuck. Now he's going to step up and run. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. They'll throw. Here's Shuck. Wide open receiver complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Here's Shuck. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I think the defense surprised him there with that blitz on 1st down, but give him credit. Stayed cool under pressure and still found a way through the extra rushers for positive yardage. Well done.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. As they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Second and 5. And they'll send Judy in motion left. Up the middle, it's Williams. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he will have the first down at about the 21-yard line. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
A gain of 12 yards. And the Saints first down.
To throw is Shuck. Got a man and he hits him in stride. Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout. So as they talk it over, we step aside. The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. Now Shuck. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line. And now they come up and spike it to stop the clock. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. This just 32 yards officially from the right hash. And his kick is right there. It's good. Message received here. No need to wait. We're going to skip halftime and get right back to the action. Here comes the 3rd quarter. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Browns offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. He's been solid here in the early part of the season, currently ranked in the top 5 amongst NFL quarterbacks in passing yardage. The Cleveland offense ready to go. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. Up the middle they go. Sampson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 45 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. They've kept him in check until that run. That's the first time he's really gotten loose in this game.
And they have to keep that in mind. Don't dwell on the fact that he finally had a big run. You kind of are counting on that as the game went on. Get back to what you were doing before. Start limiting him again.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, that's a good piece of quarterbacking right there because he certainly felt the pressure coming. The alternative, getting sacked for the first time. He didn't like that option at all. Did a nice job saving yardage by throwing that one away.
Now a 2nd and 10. They'll set up to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Well, that one hurts. That wipes away what would have been a big play.
Well, you and I both know coaches aren't real big on silver linings, but at least that play call was a successful one. Now the focus offensively, that goes to overcoming the penalty and making all that yardage back again.
They'll set up a throw. That's complete. It's Adnan Mitchell. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
From the 23, this is 2nd and 3. They'll stay on the ground with Judkins. Oh, great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Let's go now. 18 Cardinal, Cougar 19.
Looking to throw. Now loose football. The ball comes out. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they get the football, but not much on the return here as he stopped at the 7-yard line.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Now we give up the middle to Williams. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. They'll run out of the gun here. Williams. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Sometimes I forget how much information he has to go through before the ball's even snapped. But what a diagnosis right there. Saw the play, shot through the gap like a rocket, ends up spilling it for a loss.
He's up to the 20. And they will finally get him down to the 27-yard line. Needed 13, and with a good spot, they got 13 and a first down.
First and 10 at the 27-yard line.
They'll hand it off now. Williams. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. And they'll come up 2nd and 7. From the gun, it's a run for Williams. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. 49 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. This will be the 8th play of the drive, and it's 3rd and inches. It's a quarterback sneak. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. They run it again with Williams. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Oh, he'll air this one deep for Judy. This is caught inside the 15. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Jerry Judy, 55 yards. And the Saints have retaken a 3rd quarter lead. And so they run it in on the 2-point try. You know, so often, Charles, we talk about from the offense's perspective what you do on the 2-point conversion. How about the defense? How do they play run versus pass?
It's really difficult for them because I think most teams want to play for the pass. That's what they see most teams do. And so are you able to mass enough people inside if the team decides to run it? Very difficult. I think what you're seeing a lot more now, people blitzing the 2-point conversion. They want you to make a quick decision and make it right now.
There, the offense wins the battle for 2. And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd and 9.
19, 19.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. There's a short one caught by Fannin. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. It's caught inside the 25. The penalties don't usually hurt as much as that one does. That is a monster gain wiped out by the flag.
And you and I both know that an offense only gets a couple of those big moments in a normal game. You've got to take advantage of them. And when you give one away because of an avoidable penalty, that's a major disadvantage. Just steals away every bit of momentum you just generated with that play.
Check match.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
39 yards on the punt, give him just 1 yard on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So here are the Saints to take over. They've dropped 5 straight coming in, so right now cherishing this lead. And they've got the football as well, 1st and 10. They begin the drive with Williams. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. To throw now, Shuck. And he's got his man on the out route. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. The Saints on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Out of the pistol, here's Williams. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Ready to take over again on offense. Out comes Cleveland. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series. But what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They got to get going.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. 72 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Another carry for their leader, and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Right back to him on 1st down. And they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10.
Here we go, here we go.
On play action, they'll throw. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
19 tight, 19 tight.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And the Saints force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Now carry number 20 of the game. Here's Williams. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Here's Shuck out of the shotgun. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Browns defense has a touchdown. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the 4th as the kick's away. And this return going to come to a quick end as he is belted at the end of that one. The Saints again ready to go on offense. They will look to flush the memory of that pick 6 as we now have a brand new tie ball game here in the 4th quarter. Getting down to the good stuff. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. Here's a 2nd and 9 now from the 29. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Well, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Following the play here, now we've got an injury. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Operating from the gun, here's Shuck. Got a man and he hits him in stride. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10. They try the left side here with Williams. And he'll be taken down at about the 45. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a score to break this tie. Here's a 2nd and 7. Again, it's Williams. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Back to throw here. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's good for a Saints 1st down.
He'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Carson Schlesinger. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. They'll look to throw here. And that's caught by Williams. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. This crowd turning up the decibel level. It's 3rd and long. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He'll try and do this himself.
Brandon, I think he's just grateful to get back to the line of scrimmage and avoid not just losing yardage, but a big hit on that play as well. That defense closed on him quick and forced a quick surrender out of bounds.
Taken in at the 11. A very good kick there, but 15 yards on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. Well, partner, here it is. They've got the chance to win the game. You'd have to think they need to get it near the opposite 40 to have a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. We'll see what they can do.
And you're right about that, because if we look at it in macro, that's what it looks like. But I think in micro, the head coach has already asked the special teams coach, what is he feeling? What does he think? Where does he want the football? What's the yard line we have to get? And he's already relayed that to his quarterback and his offense. They know what the goal is. Now the key, can they get there?
They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Mitchell. Loose inside the 30. And all the way down to the 17-yard line. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. 2 timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now.
18 Cardinal, 18. Hey, check that. Street.
They'll run from the gun. It's Judkins. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go. Here comes 2nd down.
Hey, check that. Down. Stretch the eagle.
Now a handoff up the middle. Sampson. Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Well, the elements, the crowd, the situation, This is NFL football at its best. Here's third down.
Seven Pirates.
They're going to look to throw. It's caught. Mitchell. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
It's fourth down.
And his kick here is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
So here is Shuck and the Saints. Down 17-14. A little over 20 seconds to go. Now their losing streak in danger of continuing as they come up on first down. And that not at all what they were hoping for. He does stop the clock, but it eats up precious time and winds up losing yardage. He's back to throw. Now that's to the left sideline and incomplete. The dog pound barking as loud as they can here. Third down. They'll look to throw. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete. Well, that's where this Cleveland crowd, the dog pound in particular, make it difficult on opposing offenses. It looked like they might have had troubles communicating at the line, and it leads to the incompletion. He's going to let it fly. It's caught inside the 25. Well, it took us until the final play, Charles, to officially decide a winner, although on that last play they were so backed up it would have taken a miracle, and they couldn't get that miracle done.